Hello everybody and welcome back to the Aussie YouTube Hop. It is October 2019 and this month we are doing a Sketch Your Spring or Halloween, and this month we are also bringing you a scrapbook sketch as a prompt. So I was really excited when we did this because it gives me a chance to get some scrapbooking on. Scrapbooking is something I always want to keep up, but I actually never do, and I feel guilty about it. So here's a chance to get some scrapbooking done in October. So I'm going to put the picture of the sketch up on the top there, and this is the photo I've chosen. This is Brusha, my 10-year-old Russian blue. If you notice here, the picture in the sketch is a horizontal picture, and the picture I've chosen is a vertical picture. And I remember in the past, these things always used to really freak me out, and I could never proceed with the sketch because the photo was always the wrong layout. But, you know, I've chosen to take things a lot easier now and just to go with what I have and make it work. And so that's one tip I would definitely love to give you. If your picture is the wrong orientation, it really doesn't matter. Go ahead with your picture. The main aim is to get your scrapbooking done, and so use what you've got and make it work, and don't worry about it. It's just a scrapbook. The scrapbook that I'm using is actually a sketchbook. This is one by Santora's Gorgeous. It was sent to me by a really beautiful friend from our Auntie Vera and Craft Facebook group. It is one that I decided to use as a little bit of unconventional scrapbooking. It's spiral bound, and by unconventional scrapbooking, I mean that the scrapbook layout does not go into plastic sleeves. I just want to use it as a book that I can put photos in and embellish around and put a little bit of mixed media and such. So this is the second layout I'm doing in the sketchbook. It's really embarrassing. The first layout was one I did last year, and then this one here this year. I hope this is not a once a year kind of sketchbook. I'm aiming to have this book full of memories and a little bit of art as well. Alright, so enough with the introductions, let's get started. The papers I've chosen are a whole lot of Graphic 45 Halloween papers. They're they range from a few years old to last year's collections, I believe. Eerie Tale and Steampunk. And the one I go with is the Rare Oddities collection. I also have a piece of this beautiful specialty paper. It's like textured, black, checkered, and I really love it, and it kind of gives like quite a regal feeling. So I'm going to end up using it as the strip that runs vertically behind the photo. So what I'm going to do here is just get a little bit of black cardstock to mat the photo with. I didn't want to waste the black specialty paper because you wouldn't see it behind the photo. This paper that I have the photo sitting on currently is called Ghostly Greetings from the Rare Oddities collection. I thought this was the paper I was going with. It really drew my eye and I grabbed it straight away, and I wanted to use it straight away. But then what I wanted to do also was see what the picture looked like with the other papers behind it. And I decided that I didn't like the orange or the orange and black look. I really love the purple look. The purple pulls from her gray fur, and so I knew that I wanted to put a purple in there. But the purple and the Ghostly Greetings didn't go well together, so I decided to take the Ghostly Greetings paper with the owl and the cages away and put that aside. And I went back to the paper with all the books because I really liked some of the titles on the spines of the books. They say things like Curiouser and Curiouser, Bazaar of Wonders, and a Cabinet of Curiosities. And these are actually things that I would say that my cat is. She's definitely a curious cat. She's definitely bizarre in the things that she does. So I thought that those titles went well with her character. And so I did decide to go with the paper that had the books in the end. And the striped purple worked really well, pulling the color out of her fur. The interesting thing is that once you've decided what your papers are going to be, the scrapbook layout comes together very quickly. For me, it took 22 minutes just to get to which papers I was going to use. So that cup of tea that you see there got reheated a few times. So once you reach the stage, all you're doing really is you're just going to glue down all your papers as per the sketch. So I've got the doily there, and I'm only going to use half of it, save the rest for another project. And I'm using a combination of PVA glue plus double-sided tape. And it's just a matter of layering everything as the sketch, but sometimes also if you don't like the way it sits in the sketch, just change it so that you're happy with it. At the end of the day, it is your layout, and after a while you forget that you even followed a sketch, so just make it pretty how you would like it. So on the bottom right hand it says journal here. Obviously that paper was a little bit dark for me to journal, so I decided to cut that tag in half. I inked the edges, and I am just going to do my little bit of journaling on the rest of the tag right there. Now for the large title prompt, I've got these Halloween thickers, and I really sort of don't like any of the words. Although this is a Halloween sketch, all I'm doing is using Halloween. I'm trying to use up my papers, so I decided to go for my Halloween papers, but then also just use a photo that is my normal everyday and make the papers work with my photo. So I ended up taking out the letters PUS out of the Hocus Pocus saying, and I just put puss. This is Russia the Magnificent. So last of all, I ummed and ahed whether to put some butterflies, but I found butterflies that actually picked up the color of the purple and matched her fur really nicely. So I think they added a lovely touch. Okay, so this is my double spread at the end of everything. I spared you how long it took to do the second page. It was just kind of a mishmash of a few things I had. This was that paper that I really couldn't get out of my mind. I loved that owl and the keys and the flowers, so I put it in the background, but it was a little bit busy, so I ended up putting a sheet of vellum, which always works well to break up any strong patterns or strong colors that you have on any paper that you want to use. I do have a Tim Holtz pack of ephemera for Halloween, which I got a while ago, so I pulled out some of these things here. And what I ended up going with, like the kind of theme that I went with this page is September and October are always cold and flu season, well, at least in our home, but pretty much in all of Perth. So we're always at the drugstore. So I made it so that this is the drugstore. This is a die from Tim Holtz that I got perhaps last Halloween when I was on the design team for Auntie Vera's Scrap and Craft. So I cut that out of glitter foam. Yes, this is black glitter foam, and just backed it up with some gold paper in the back there. So yeah, this represents the pharmacy. And so also what usually happens is that this is the time that we put flea treatment on our cats. So I pulled this out of the Tim Holtz ephemera pack because my cats don't like the flea treatment. So put that on, I put that on. Yeah, just a little bit of ephemera, the owl pulling out from here, the moon, because currently it's quarter moon, I think. So yeah, this is kind of like a mishmash of what's going on in my house at the moment, but it does look good here with this one, kind of carries the theme. And I'm really happy that it's a double project, because sometimes when you just do the one page, the two pages don't match, and I don't know, it might bother you or it might not bother you, but to me it's always nice to do a double page. So this page is done, and then when you start on the next one, it's a blank slate. So yeah, thank you so much for joining me, everybody. I hope this kind of inspired you to get some scrapbooking on. So I hope to keep this scrapbook open on my desk so that I could just start using up some of my papers, and whenever I see a really cool photo, which I have a lot of, I should just print, slap it on, put some papers on, and get that scrapbook mojo on, which I promised myself that I was going to do. So thank you so much for joining me, everybody. Do remember that this is a hop. I want you to go down to the description box and click on the link to see the next person that you're hopping onto, and go ahead and check out her video, and you will then hop on to the next person. I think that there are 6 of us who are participating in this round. go ahead and check out their layouts. Remember that this is a Halloween or a spring theme, so it'd be interesting to see how this is done in spring form. And also, I think some of the other girls may or may not have broken the rules and gone outside the sketch dimension, which is always fun, always good to think outside the box and see how creative you can get. So thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you in my next video.